Good afternoon and welcome to Lawyered Up. I'm your host, Patrick McGee. I'm a Florida trial attorney and former police officer, and I bring you news on the Second Amendment and firearms industry from around Florida and around the country. So hot off the Law and the Life newswire is this article from Channel 8 in New Orleans, where a New Orleans police officer quit mid-shift. He basically went home, texted his sergeant, and goes, "Hey, I'm quitting." I thought this was rather strange. It doesn't usually happen. It's abandonment of post, and I'm not condoning that whatsoever. But I started looking into the reasons of why he quit. He was a young guy. He always wanted to be a police officer. He joined the New Orleans Police Department. He only had a couple years on. And this particular night was a Friday night, and he was working in the French Quarter. He checked in his for his patrol duties on a night shift. And he said there were 40 calls holding, and there were only 35 officers in the entire city, covering the entire city for patrol duties with 40 calls holding. Now, New Orleans is a pretty big city. To have 40 officers on a shift on a Friday night is insane. I mean, 40 calls holding is not bad. I've seen 100 calls holding, but 35 officers to cover a city that big is, in my opinion, just insane. So I started looking into it further, and there was a report that was sent to the city commission where their average time to answer 911 calls was 2.5 hours. Now that may be a little bit deceiving because it doesn't separate between emergency and priority and routine calls. And nowadays everybody calls 911 for everything from cats stuck in trees to shootings. So I'm sure the time for in progress, life-threatening calls is not 2.5 hours. I'm sure it's much lower. I mean, I may be wrong. If anybody's from New Orleans, let us know what your response time is on emergency and priority calls. I would guess that it would be less. But even if it's, 20 minutes or so, can you wait 20 minutes for the police to come? Probably not. I mean, that's rather insane on something that involves, a dangerous call, particularly when you have your life at stake. Anyway, the reason I bring this up to you is the argument is always made, hey, if something bad happens, call the police. Well, as this shows, the police aren't always going to be there, or they're going to take a while to get there. And you can't wait a while. When the shooting's going down, you can't go, hey, wait, the police are coming, let's stop. That just doesn't work. And with today's disregard for law enforcement, criminals are emboldened, particularly in a city like New Orleans. It's just insane. So if you're in New Orleans, you better not listen to those politicians telling you about just call the police, because chances are the police may not come for a while. Best to arm up. Anyway, I thought you'd find that interesting. Thanks for joining us here on Lawyered Up. If you find this information and content interesting, please like and subscribe. Until next time, I'll see you then.